Good morning, everyone. Before I begin, I would like to make a correction to what Dr. Jayabharati told about me. I am not just a proud alum of Rochester Institute of Technology, I am a proud alum of Vellore Institute of Technology. In fact, she was my teacher who taught me electrical machines. Today I won't forget about electrical machines, madam. So, thank you. So let me do a quick survey by a show of hands. How many of you know a VAT student who studies here or who has studied here? Please raise your hands. Please raise your hands. Just look around. It's like, please put down. Most of you already know somebody at VAT. What does it say? It's called the word of mouth, right? The other day, on Saturday, I was just visiting a star hotel in Vellore, and one girl came to me and said, "Sir, do you remember me?" Unfortunately, I didn't remember her. She and her mom had come. She says, "I came here to drop off my younger brother who is joining VIT. I am a student of VIT. About 4 years ago, I graduated. Now I'm working for Bank of America. I want my younger brother also to succeed in his life like me." So those are the typical stories of VIT, right? It's not about ranking. It's not about anything else. It's about the student success. That's what makes VIT what VIT is. That's why we are all here. At VIT, your success is our success. We measure our success based on your success. So, I wanted to give you a few tips. Most of you, I look at your faces, especially the youngsters, students. There are two kinds of feelings I see in your face. One is a lot of excitement. On the other hand, there is some anxiety also. It's very common to have this feeling of both excitement and anxiety. For many of you are coming out of home for the first time. This is the first time you are leaving your home and going and studying and staying in a hostel and studying. So there is a lot of anxiety. In school, the paradigm was different, and here you are going to experience a paradigm shift. In many of the schools, you will notice what is called as spoon feeding, right? Many of the teachers will tell you, "Please note down, this is an important question. This has been asked many times. It will come in your exam. Please prepare this answer." So what do students do? They just go mug up, and then exam comes, vomit. And then after the exam, forget everything. Right? That's a typical scenario. But that's not how a university works. I want the students to first of all understand this. There will not be spoon feeding. Nobody is going to tell you, buy this notes and this question will come, this is more in. No, that's not how it works. So the way it works is that at a university, the faculty will talk about many important points. They are not going to cover the syllabus. They are going to actually uncover it. They are not going to teach you each and everything which is in the book. It is from teacher-centric, it's moving to student-centric. Right? So you got to take the proactive step of learning. You got to use the professors as facilitators. So don't just stop with the classroom, right? So the professors will come and explain many concepts in the class, but unless you take an active interest, read ahead of the class, go to the class, and don't feel shy about asking questions, right? You know the Chinese proverb. If you ask a question, you might feel that you are remaining fool for 5 minutes. If you don't ask the question, you remain a fool for life. Thank you. So ask questions. Only by asking you learn. Discuss. So in a university environment, the paradigm changes. You got to take the proactive interest and learn. And there's a lot you learn outside the classroom than what you learn inside the classroom. Right? There's always the internet available, the library available, and your colleagues, your peers, you're going to talk to them, learn from each other, and there are going to be many guest lectures, visiting faculty. You got to talk to them all, right? That's what I call as paradigm shift. So that's one of the important tips which I wanted to mention to our friends here. And as was pointed out, when you learn outside the classroom, you got to use the clubs and chapters. We have more than 150 of them. So I appeal to each and every student here to join at least one club or chapter. So it not only nurtures your extracurricular and co-curricular activities, it helps to develop bond with others. It helps to develop leadership. There's a lot of things which you learn without actually learning when you join these clubs and chapters. So I appeal to all of you. There are many talents. The way to bring out the talents is to join these clubs and chapters. The next tip which I wanted to give to our student friends, very simple: don't fail in any subject. Right? If I had mentioned this in a school, everybody would have laughed. What is this? Such a fundamental thing. Don't fail in any subject. How did I get into VIT unless I would have scored very well? Right? That's what you would think. But in a university environment, people start to relax. Right? I don't know if you heard of this small story. In a plane, there's a small, it's actually a plane which has traveled up, and a young exec is traveling. And then to his surprise, in business class, he sees next to him a CEO of a very big company, one of the top companies of India. That CEO cum founder is more than 75. So this young exec was very happy that, next to me is a big CEO sitting in the plane. So he turned around to him and asked, "Sir, in your life, you have achieved so much. You have brought up this company from nothing to so much. Why don't you just retire? You are already 72, 73. For that senior CEO replied, "My dear young brother, this plane has now climbed 30,000 feet. Why don't we turn off the engine?" This is a story with many of our friends here. They work hard, and reach VIT, and then they try to turn off this engine. What will happen to the plane? Right? So don't think that, okay, I have reached goal of my life, I have reached one of the best institutions, now I can relax. Only now the game starts. Right? What do they say? Kela Hobe or something in Bengali? Let the game start. So the game is starting now. Do not even think of failing in any subject. What happens is, in a system like ours, the fully flexible credit system, every result will get published in your consolidated mark sheet. Our controller of examinations will probably come and tell you later. It's not like in some universities, some students fail and then they reappear, only the reappeared result will come. So it's going to be a permanent record. There are options to add and drop, which Dean Akkad is going to explain. But you need to focus, stay focused, and make sure the permanent record is set. The next tip which I wanted to give you about is goal setting, right? What we call as graduation outcomes. All of you are joining bachelor's degree here, a 4-year bachelor's degree. After that, what? So one of the 3 outcomes you should focus on. 1, I need to get a great employment, great placement. Or I need to go to a great institution for my master's degree. Or I need to become a great entrepreneur, right? Higher education, placement, or entrepreneur. You could have more than one of these goals, but you need to have at least one goal. Right today, you can say, I am going to join Microsoft or Google or any of those Oracle kind of companies. Right? You make it a goal. You need to have a goal. Or you can say, I am going to study in Stanford or MIT or Berkeley for my master's. Fix a goal. Or you can say, I am going to start my own company, which will eventually become the Google. Why can't we produce a Google from India? It is possible. Why can't we produce a Microsoft from India? It is possible. Who's leading Microsoft? Who's leading Google? Right? Our own Indians are doing it. If Indians can do it in US, why can't Indians do it in India? You know about Satya Nadala's story, you know about Sundar Pichai's story. All of us we are so proud of. But why don't we, have we ever produced a Microsoft or a Google from within India? Maybe you can do it, right? That's the goal. You set the bar high. I want to become an entrepreneur. I want to become a great employee of a great company. Or I want to go to a great institution like Stanford or MIT. So you set the goal. If you don't set the goal, it will not happen. It's not going to automatically happen. So setting the goal is very, very important. I want you to set the goal. And I wanted to give you a few tips. Maybe Dr. Samuel will be elaborating more on this later. What do employers look for? Right? For example, if it's a super dream company, the word super dream will be explained by him later. Microsoft or Google, those classic examples which I give. They are going to look for at least 9 CGPA. What is CGPA? Answer will be given by Dean Akkad later. At least 9 points out of 10 points, right? So you need to have good grades. That's the basic. After that, they are going to interview you. They are going to conduct some exams, right? Mostly, the exams will focus on whether you have strong fundamentals, right? Whether you have the clarity of concepts. If you are the type who just mugs up and then vomits in exam, they are not going to want you. They are going to want a person who can understand the fundamental and then knows how to apply it. Two things, right? Understand the fundamental and knows how to apply it. So that's what you need to have it on day one itself. Do I understand the fundamentals? Do I know how to apply it? That's what all great companies are going to look for. Of course, they are going to look for your communication skills also, whether you can express your thoughts very well, whether you can work in a team, all those soft skills. So we have plans for improving your soft skills also. And they are also going to look for whether you have done good projects, right? Once I visited a great institution near Boston. It's called WPI, right? In that institution, they have a great concept. All the engineers, they have to solve a problem which is found in the society as a project. It's a wonderful concept. You know what they do? The WPI students, Worcester Polytechnic Institute, they travel about 7,000, 8,000 kilometers to Africa and Asia looking for problems of the society, and then they solve it. They are unlucky people. We are very lucky. We don't need to travel 7,000 kilometers. Just step outside the campus. You will see thousands of problems. We are very lucky people. Right? You don't have to go around the world to look for problems. There are so many problems surrounding us. But are we using technology to solve those problems? You need to open your eyes and look around. There are always problems. You look for solutions. That's how an entrepreneur is created. You look for a space where the problem has not been solved or not been solved efficiently. You go and solve the problem, then you become great. So always be on the lookout for problems. The next tip, networking, right? Network. I'm not talking about computer networks here. I'm talking about the human network, social network, right? Go open a LinkedIn account right today. I'm sure all of you have Facebook account, Twitter account and all that. How many of you have LinkedIn account, right? Raise your hands. How many of you have LinkedIn accounts? I'm talking about the students. Very good, not bad. But open it today. Create a network, professional network. See what's going on around you in your network, because as you go up in your life, grow up in your life, you will realize it has got a lot to do with network. If you are, for example, going to become an entrepreneur, you got to look for funds, right? You got to look for venture capitalists, angel investments, institutional funds. How does it happen? You meet people either online or when they come here, wherever. So you create a network. So the importance of network cannot be understated. Talking about social media, right? I want you to use social media in a positive way. I just talked about LinkedIn. But you got to be very careful. Social media could be a dangerous place too, right? You would have heard of all sorts of stories. But let me talk about the milder version of it. You know, these days, many of the employers just go and search for your social media profile. What have you posted? Even visa authorities, right? If you apply for visa, in my US visa application, they are asking, please give you all your social media handles. What's your Twitter handle? What's your Facebook handle? All that. Because you are going to be looked into what you posted. You might think, oh my God, I'm a rebel now, I can post whatever you want. Once you post it on the net, it never dies. Please have it in mind, it never dies. Even if you delete the tweet, it never dies. So you got to be very careful building your social media profile also, because as you go further and further in the future, the importance of social media is going to become higher. Today it's Facebook and Twitter, tomorrow it's going to be a different social media, it will keep changing. But the concept is going to remain for a long time to come. So be careful of what you post in the social media. And the other point is very simple, right? But some students think, I have some institution and some employees also think that it's cool to just go and post their problems about their employer or the education institution they study. That's a bad idea. Right? Suppose I am recruiting somebody, and if I go and look at the social media profile of posting of somebody and that fellow is trashing their current employer, do you think I will recruit that person? I won't. Same thing about education institutions. So, for example, VAT, we are all a team. So you should not post anything negative about VAT, because it's going to come back and bite you later. So if you have problems, you should talk to your proctors, you should take care of it in internal way rather than doing a public posting which hurts you also in the future. Talking about digital media, digital footprint, what they call as digital footprint or digital portfolio is very important. People are going to just search for you. So you need to do a positive thing also. Most of you here are going to be studying computer science areas, right? Have you heard of GitHub? How many of you are there in GitHub already? GitHub? Okay, good, few. Join GitHub. What do? You can solve problems. You can post solutions, download some open source, contribute to it. That's what employers are going to look for. Whether you're going to be part of those open source communities, contributing to the code development. So there are many such platforms. There is HackerRank and Hacker World, etc., where Hacker Earth, where you can go and take their questions and solve. Many of the companies are using such platforms. So you be proactive, join GitHub, join LinkedIn, and enhance your profile. Some of you are going to study civil engineering here, right? So civil engineering also, you got to think of what kind of problems I can solve in the field, right? Even today, our buildings take years together to construct. It takes so much of money, project overruns. What am I going to do to solve this problem using artificial intelligence, using data science. So a civil engineer cannot be a conventional civil engineer. You got to use technology, and technology means right now it's all IT related technology. How am I going to use drones? How am I going to use artificial intelligence in civil engineering? How am I going to use data science, cloud, etc.? So you think in terms of computer science to solve your problems. Don't think that civil engineering is outdated. If you want, you can keep it outdated or you can modernize it. So it's all in your hands. The next tip which I wanted to give you is about distractions, right? There are many distractions as a teenager you are going to go through. There will be a lot of peer pressure. Somebody might give you a cigarette and say, it's really cool if you smoke. Say no. Learn to say no. Just say no. Nothing wrong. Avoid this peer pressure, negative peer pressure. If somebody offers you something, you say, no, I'm not going to smoke, I'm not going to drink. I remember one judge, he came to this university on a university day and he made a wonderful statement. He said, your body is like a temple. Do not put any garbage in it. Your body is like a temple. Do not put any garbage in it. You keep your body clean and pure. So just say no. If somebody gives you something, just say no. You should remember this. Just say no, right? There will be peer pressure. There will be peer pressure. This is the age. You might feel tempted to do anything. No. You have stayed strong, you will stay strong. The strength comes from saying no to all the bad habits. So do not yield to these temptations, because one is about your health, but it could be your destiny also. It's, you know about VIT, we run a very tight ship. We do not tolerate any kind of indiscipline. If somebody even consumes alcohol and comes to the hostel, the person will be kicked out. Very unfortunate, but we have to follow certain rules, right? It's for the welfare of everybody. Now, it's very unfortunate when we take such disciplinary action. Any kind of indiscipline, we take a very serious action. Otherwise, we cannot have so many thousands of teenagers living here peacefully and nice, right? So we got to play by the rules. Do not get into any kind of bad habits. If you have had any bad habits, just leave it. Just quit those bad habits. VIT is not the place to have any kind of bad habits. And last tip for my teenage friends here, safety, right? You know, the most, all of you see the news around you. The most common death for teenagers is because of two-wheelers. And that's why in our hostel, we have said, if you are a hostler, no two-wheelers. Even for day scholars who have come here, I would appeal, do not drive two-wheelers and come here. You use a bus or auto or a car, some other means. It's very tragic to lose teenagers in road accidents. If you have to drive a two-wheeler, please wear your helmet. If you have to drive a car or travel in a car, please wear a seat belt. I know it may not seem very relevant in an academic introduction, but I feel if you are not safe, there is no point in talking about your placements and your Microsofts and Googles, right? Safety is very important. People get into adventure, they go and jump in some water body and die, teenagers. You see all around the country, when it rains, there is like, quarries filled with water, people go and jump and die. You got to be smarter than that, right? Even if you are an expert swimmer, you go and jump in a pond filled with clay, you're going to die. Sorry, I'm being very frank with you, but somebody has to talk this. Your safety becomes very, very important. Only when you are safe and alive, you can talk about all the achievements in life, right? So it's very important that we maintain rules for safety. So you might wonder why VIT has this in time, why VIT is doing this, why VIT is doing that. It is because of our experience. We learn from others' experience. We don't need to go through our own experience, right? We should learn from others' experience. That's why we have these rules. It's not for our fun. It's for your safety. So whenever somebody says, follow this in time, do not do this, do not do that, it is because of certain bad experiences we have had. So I would suggest you to utilize the faculty as proctors. Apart from proctors, we also have expert counselors who are professional counselors. If you are feeling depressed, you come from different backgrounds, right? Somebody might be speaking fluent English, you are reluctant to speak in English, you might feel inferior. Don't feel inferior. You will learn, you will grow. Don't feel inferior. But if you are feeling any negative feelings, if you are feeling a bit depressed, just go and talk to people. Don't feel isolated. There are so many thousands of kids, so do not feel any kind of depression. And if you need any help also, we are here to help. We have proctors and we have professional counselors. Their numbers are getting displayed everywhere. Take the professional counselor's help. Do not feel any kind of depression. We are here to help you. We are here to put you in a positive path leading to success. Okay? I'm going to close, but before that, can I ask all the fathers and mothers to kindly stand up? All the fathers and mothers, kindly stand up. Kindly stand up. Let's give a big round of applause to these heroes. Please take your seat. The sacrifices Indian parents make are unparalleled. I've seen so many other countries. Nowhere else it happens. I want all the students, the children, to realize the sacrifices your parents have made. Even in the future, you need to take care of them. This is just an emotional appeal which I wanted to make. And to the parents, just 2 tips, and I'm going to close it. I know I've been taking a lot of time. Parents, be there for your kids. Right? Previously, Hero Honda used to come up with an advertisement. Fill it, shut it, forget it. Right? You shouldn't say, I came and admitted, I'm done, I'm forgetting it. No. Be there. Be there for your kids. Ask them what your continuous assess cat marks. They will say what cat means, cat and fat. Ask them what your cat marks is. Why is your attendance low? Right? Each proctor they mentioned have 25 kids. How many of you have 25 kids? You don't have 25 kids, right? So you need to focus. Don't ignore them. That's the first tip I wanted to give. Ask them. Even when they come to final year, ask them what is your cat mark? What is your attendance? Right? These are all indicators. So be there for your kids. That's the first tip. The second tip is a very logistic issue. Vellore is not an expensive city, even though your kids might say so. Do not spoil them with giving a lot of money. Right? Money, excess of money will spoil your kids. I know the kids are going to hate me for saying this, but no, I don't care. I'm caring about your welfare only. So give limited amount of money, stay focused and be there for your kids. Let me close by saying Swami Vivekananda's quote about goals: arise, awake, and stop not till your goal is reached. Thank you.